What's going on, Giants Nation? This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. I'm going to keep changing my intro to keep everyone guessing. Is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? It's not going to completely go away, but we are going to try a few different things and see how it goes from there, because I find it interesting. I never thought my intro would be the topic of conversation on my page. I always thought it'd be something else. But you know what? I did want to talk about something briefly, and that topic is the New York Giants and their playoff situation. We are currently at 3-7, and we are going to do a two-part series, and the first part is going to be, what if the Giants beat the Bengals? What if we go 4-7? What happens then? I mean, it's an interesting scenario. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, and we need to actually think about this for a second. After the Bengals, of course, we still have to play the Browns, the Ravens, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. Seahawks and the Cardinals. I can't even talk today. We have to play the Seahawks. Yeah, I was right. No, we have to play the Browns, the Ravens, the Seahawks, Cardinals, and the Cowboys. But yeah, I'm still thinking 6 wins is going to be necessary to get the division. And my question is, outside of the Cowboys, which would then put us at 5-7, where do we think that other win is going to come against the Browns, the Ravens, the Seahawks, or the Cardinals? Now, this is not an easy schedule. Now, I will tell you this right now. I mean, the Eagles have a worse schedule than we do. Except they also have the Cowboys and the Washington team, but they also still have to play the Browns, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Saints, and the Packers. So I'm still thinking, like I said, they are, I give the Eagles 2 wins with the Cowboys and the Washington team, so that puts them at 5. I mean, they literally can lose their last 4 games. So the question is, where can the Giants get that 6th, and possibly 7th win that we may need? Now, the Browns, with all their problems on offense, still has a pretty good offensive team. Still has a pretty good run game. They have a good defense. They somewhat mirror the Giants' defense, but with a better pass rush. I mean, so that's a difficult situation. The Ravens have come back to earth. Lamar Jackson's come back to earth a little bit because the league, and this is, and I said this before, this is always a secular thing. You have certain players like Robert Griffin III who have breakout seasons, and then, I've said this a million times, the league gets film on these guys. They figure out their tendencies, and unless they adjust to their tendencies, the guy's play drops off. And Lamar Jackson is basically contain him in the pocket and make him throw. I mean, and that's been going back to his days in Louisville. But the defense still with the Ravens is something to deal with, if healthy. The Seahawks, like you said, you just don't know with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is just one of those guys, and we've seen it before. He could throw 4 interceptions in the first half and then come back and beat you with 5 touchdowns in the second half. And the Cardinals are not a pushover either. That Kyler Murray, man, I liked him coming out of college. People thought I was crazy because, and I even said he's got to be at least 4'10". 5'10". But then he even looked smaller. It looked like he was like 5'9.5", something like that. But I always said that all this kid needs is the ability to just create, and that's what he does. While Daniel Jones's runs are mostly a product of Jason Garrett and calling the right plays at the right time, Kyler Murray creates his own plays. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, like I said, it's just now the league is starting to contain him like they did with Robert Griffin Jr., but he has the ability to create outside of the play calling. And that's, and then what sucks is we got 3 quarterbacks like that: Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, and Kyler Murray. I mean, so to me, the game that we need to look at for our 6th win is going to be the Browns. I mean, that's the game. We literally will have to take the Bengals, the Browns, and the Cowboys to get to 6-10. And I think it just blows my mind that we're talking about the fact that a 6-10 team is going to make the playoffs or potentially can make the playoffs. But like I said, if we are going to play the what if game, if we beat the Bengals, we need to, of course, beat the Browns and the Cowboys. And then, like I said, then I will get excited about potentially making the playoffs for the New York Giants. Other Giants news, of course, DeAndre Baker has been found innocent and he is making the rounds. He's currently looking at the Kansas City Chiefs and a few other teams, so we'll keep an eye on that. Also, Graham Gano, of course, tested positive for COVID. They have two staffers who were close contacts with him, so we kind of have to wait and see what that situation is. I mean, it's never a good situation, but for it to happen, a bye week is not the worst time for this to happen. You don't want it to happen to anyone, but the bye week is a good time. And plus, he's a kicker. So, I mean, he's never around any real football players anyways. That was a joke, guys. a very small joke. But like I say, you know what? It's a short, it's a short road we have to make the playoffs. Because like I said, I do see, like I said, if we are going to consider it and we are going to think about it, the only thing I can think about keeping us in the playoff picture right now is wins over the Cowboys. Like I said, and I think the Browns game is, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Cowboys. And I think the Browns game is what we're going to have to pencil in as that win. Because, like I said, the Philly schedule is worse than ours outside of the Cowboys and Washington. I've said that before. I've already said that. I mean, it's tough. But like I said, there are, if you think about it, there are 4 teams that can beat us. The Browns can beat us. Cardinals can beat us. The Seahawks can beat us, and the Ravens can beat us. I think we can beat the Browns. I'm not sure we could take the Cardinals, and I don't think we could beat the Seahawks and the Ravens. So, I mean, maybe the Cardinal game is another game we could potentially pencil in and see, what we can do. And the other thing we need to also watch out for is Washington. Because Washington's got a pretty easy schedule. I mean, they have the Bengals, the Cowboys, and the Panthers. And they have the Eagles. And the 49ers are 4-6 because, they're the Washington's 2-7. But they could potentially put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins on the board. They could potentially win 7 games. I think Washington, depending on who the quarterback is, can beat the Bengals. I think they can beat the Cowboys. And like I said, if the defense plays well, I think they can beat the Eagles. So that would put them, at 5-7. But like I said, if we can beat the Bengals and the Cowboys and the Browns, then I will start talking about the playoffs. Because like I said, that will then put us, at 6-7. And then, we could talk about the rest of what needs to happen for us to make the playoffs. And then what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to do a video that basically is titled, What If We Lose to the Bengals? And then we'll discuss the scenarios of potentially what that loss could mean to us and potentially what it could do if there's an opportunity that we can go back and make the playoffs. So again, this is Devil Online, Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, ring that bell, that'd be awesome.